Let's get this show on the road here, shall we? I think everything should be good. Mic audio is good. There should be game audio coming through. It's super faint though. That's annoying. Wonder how that is. But mic audio is good, so let's keep rolling. How's it going, everybody? It is the featured Overseer 6-star grind here tonight. It's the last night. Welcome, everybody. It's Wednesday, middle of the week. We have interesting things going on in game. Funnily enough, the last live stream on Monday, I wound up calling that we would wind up seeing some new pre-4th of July offer, and I guessed that it was going to be Vision, just because we hadn't seen Vision in-game in over a year. And lo and behold, wouldn't you know it, today, up pops several different Vision offers. Now, if you don't have a 5-star Vision at all, cool, there you go. Now you do. Plus, you got a 6-star Vision to go along with it, which is pretty cool. However, I mean, it's super late in the game now, but I would not say that the Awakening is worth it. And the reason for that is that Vision needs to be like SIG 100, 120 to be useful. And 6,000 units for an Awakening and 19 additional SIGs on a Vision is not really worth it. Plus, I mean, then you got the rank 1 to 2 gem for an additional, was it 7,000 units, something crazy like that. And again, Vision isn't really great until he's 100, 120, and even still, a bit of a noodle at that. So, I mean, if you're interested in trophy collecting, have at it. Great offer. Again, first time in like a year and change, but otherwise, not super exciting. That being said, there are still several days before the weekend, which means I am fairly certain there's going to be one more shoe yet to drop. I posted on Twitter a little bit earlier that I was speculating it is either going to be a Champ Nexus of some sort, or it would be a rank up bundle. Either like a 4 to 5 for a 5-star, 6-star rank, I don't know, 1 to 2, or 2 to 3 perhaps, just really sort of, whet everyone's appetite. But I would be surprised if there's absolutely nothing here on Thursday or Friday. So we'll see. We'll see. That being said, this weekend is going to be insane for those of us who have saved up units, or whoever wants to throw a couple bucks at the game too. But on top of that, that is days away. Tonight, again, featured 6-star Bro Hulk, the Overseer, my bro. Just going to keep rolling with that. I'm Rob vonShoe. Pleasure seeing you guys. Welcome to the grind. Welcome to the channel. This is the first time checking out the channel. Pleasure to have you. Good to see you. Good to meet you. Usually wind up streaming here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday for the cereal stream. I got a brand new cereal for this Sunday's cereal stream that I'm really excited about. It wasn't something I was expecting to find, but I was walking down the aisle and it just jumped out at me from the shelf. So looking forward to bringing that on stream come Sunday. From the top, though, I want to say a big howdy, big welcome to Zixie, saying, why is this scheduled for last month? Because YouTube. Wasn't my intention to go back in time and schedule this for the 30th day of May, but, I'm a time traveler, so I just lose myself in all of it, Big howdy as well to Reaper. I've got some interesting news, says Reaper. I am all for interesting news. Lay it on me. Good luck on getting that 6-star, says Taz. Thanks, bud. I appreciate it. I hope so. If I'm lucky enough to get Overseer, he is a rank 3 candidate for his prestige alone. Plus, he's got some fun, interesting things going. And I've got about 100 science 6-star SIG stones. I want to invest on somebody. So why not invest in the highest prestige champion in that class? I mean, granted, I got to get him awakened first, which I have no idea how that's happening, but son of a... Gwen says, "Hello, Rob. I've been on MCOC vacation. This update, just getting bored. Anyways, what's the main ability things about my bro?" Well, hope you're enjoying your vacation. I got a vacation myself coming up here in July, going out traveling for a good week and change. So I'm looking forward to a good, long deserved break as well. That being said, it's an interesting month because next month is super exciting for Hercules, and him I'm actually hoping to wind up getting somehow. But he looks like he's going to be a lot of fun. Same with America Chavez as well, but I'm not supposed to talk about that yet. But as far as my bro goes, my bro has a special concussion by throwing a special 1, which stacks, which is fantastic. So each time the opponent throws a special attack, they get a permanent concussion added to them, which is very nice. He can heal based on how much... heals a percentage of his missing health. So it's not going to do a whole lot if he's like 90% health, but if he's like 10% health, then that's going to be a nice little heal. Plus, when he's awakened, too, then he can deal a whole bunch of direct damage, either by intercepting on heavy and special attacks, or by throwing light attacks. You wind up getting some nice passive damage that way, too. Well, direct damage, not passive. Plus, he's immune, he's a Hulk, so he's immune to poison. He's got a slew of other immunities as well. Not the biggest damage dealer in the game, not the biggest damage dealer in the science class as well. A nice comparison would be, I think, to Silver Surfer as a cosmic champion. Like, he does stuff, and he's interesting, and he's occasionally useful, but it's also, you gotta factor in the prestige, too. I feel like making no progress in the game as a FTP player. Got so much knowledge of MCOC, but I can't use it with my own account. I get that. I absolutely get that. I think at that point, and this is a lot of me just speaking for myself here, at that point, it's a lot of finding your own ways to have fun. Because the thing is with this game, there's like, I'm not going to say zero replayability. That's not true. But there's very little reason to go through and do an entire quest in like Act 6, Act 7 again for funsies. Outside of just, I'm going to do it for funsies. There's no incentive to it aside from you just wanting to do it for funsies. So it's like, that's where fights like Punching Bag Man and Realm come in handy, or Red Hulk too now, for some of the tankier champs. It's just like, how can I just wail on this dude just for kicks and have some fun with that? But I get you too. I get you too. Reaper pulled a Strife from a 5-star basic, and I Hulk from a 6-star basic, and I took my APOC to 565. Very cool. Would you say Strife is worthy of a Mutant Awakening gem? Only if you've got like Omega Red and Archangel awakened already. Like, his awakened ability is nice, but it's nowhere near on the level as those two guys. If Hercules doesn't have a baseball bat sound effect for his special 3, I'll boycott the character. That's funny. I don't think he does, even though he was distinctly modeled on swinging a baseball bat. I forget who it was. If it was someone did, Sim or somebody, wound up doing exactly that when they wound up revealing the special 3. It just makes sense. Let's get rid of those guys and just keep rolling. I don't have an estimated cutoff for this guy. It's just as many points as I can get, and whatever it's going to be is whatever it's going to be. Just hope for the best, Same, says Quinn. In a week, I'm going up to Lake Superior. Our family goes up there every summer. Way cooler than a city. Yes. Yes, both literally and figuratively. So peaceful and beautiful up there. Yep. It's just so nice getting out of town, too. And then getting out on the water too, because it's just a whole other, I was going to say experience, but that's not quite right. It's a whole new environment, a whole new atmosphere. I feel like you can finally just like take a breath and chill. Boink. Do that. Quinn says, I love baseball, so I automatically agree. Robert, I'm trying to figure out what's the first one. My old man eyes can't see it very well. Will somebody boot be dolphin for us? Whale for us? That's a whale. I'm not kidding, my old man eyes are like, I feel like I'm that old grandma from the meme, the glasses. Just realized Sparkles and Mole Man have similar playstyles when I'm in their modes. Yeah, funny how that works out, right? But the nice thing is, I mean, once you know how to play one, then you can play them both. So Sparkles is Cosmic Mole Man, confirmed. Now it's out there. The secret's out there. North Shore is a senseless dream. I bet. I want to go out there sometime. Like the best we have here in California is Tahoe, but that's a nice little drive. As far as lakes go, I mean we got beaches, but there's a difference between the beach on an ocean and the beach on a lake. Ah, I gotcha, Robert. I'm going to have a little bit of fun, but it's really going to depend on what even is there, Because I think it was last 4th of July was exciting and interesting, right? But then it was Cyber Weekend that wasn't as exciting. Like Cyber Weekend, I didn't even go for like the big unit prizes that I've been saving up for. Just like BG didn't. I didn't either. It wasn't worth it. So I'm hoping whatever they have this time is, but we'll see. We'll see. I would be surprised if there isn't some exciting loot along the ways, like some champion nexuses, and I'm positive there's gonna be rank 4 materials galore. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm cautiously optimistic. But not like blindly going into it like, yeah, everything's going to be awesome. It probably is, but I'm trying to like temper my expectations. Because for the same reason, I'm kind of in the same boat as, well, getting to be in the same boat as Quinn, where it's like, there's fun stuff in the game to do. But there's two things as well. Sometimes you fight the sense that there's too many things in the game to do. Well, I mean, like I'm an arena grinder, so like part of that's my own fault, my own design. But there's arena, there's the regular monthly quest, 4 different difficulties of it. There's the side quest, 4 different difficulties of that. Alliance quest, Alliance war, incursions occasionally, which I only really do when I do incursions with subs stream. And then there's just playing for fun, which is a weird category to have, but I don't know, like doing the top difficulties in the monthly event, and then whatever like end game event they have, whether it's Summer of Pain or Act 7 or whatever. But like for like the top difficulties for the monthly quest, right? Like I can have fun with that, where it's like I'm just going to take somebody in who I never play for funsies just to have fun with it. And then the other part of it is like, okay, so there's 6 individual chapters with like 5 or 6 paths on each, and there's 4 different difficulties of that. I gotta blitz through this because not only do I not want to, invest all the time to do every single path every single time I've got a full chunk of energy, because there's other stuff to do too. But it's like I kind of want to just do it so I can get it done, so I can move on to the other thing to get that done, and then once all those things are done, then you can play it. I don't know. It's a weird place to be in. I'm sounding super negative about it, and I don't mean to be super negative about it. But that kind of sometimes feels like that's the experience, Again, it's entirely my own fault. No one is like, Kabam isn't like sending a spook to my house to like muscle me into doing literally everything. Rob Von Dolphin. Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing I've always done. It's the same thing I've always done, you know. Trying to say Rob vonShoe. Oh, right. It was a Cavalier last year, but not only Thronebreaker might be scary good for the 4th of July. Perhaps. I mean, the spring cleaning was pretty interesting, right? I just got to keep reminding myself that Hercules is weeks away. And Hercules, if he winds up panning out the way that he looks like he's going to pan out, is going to be rank 3 worthy. Like a fun champion to play, And I mean, obviously I can talk more about it later on, but just going off of Dave's videos, the dev diaries that he's put out. I mean, he's an APOC for Mysterio. I just got him down to 80%. Tempted to just use revives and Unit Man through, but I feel like I can do better. Like possibly get him down 70 or 60% first. It's up to you. It's up to you. I mean, we got a whole week to do it, so I mean, there's plenty of time to go back in and do another run or two. See if you can whittle that down a little bit further. But at the same time, it is Summer of Pain for a reason, and it's kind of like it's what the pots and revives are for. Rob, please make a BAM stop adding the Tyrant and Trickster bundle. I want to awaken Doom so bad. Make the temptation stop. All right, I've got something for you. And this, again, my apologies. This is probably going to come off a bit more negative than I like. But let's look at it this way. So there's 5 chances for the Cav Trickster bundle, right, for $40. So it's not quite $10 each, just ignoring the extra bonus freebie loot, right? So it's like, what, $8 and change, $9 an attempt. Don't quote me on that math. I suck at math. You got a 3% chance out of those, we'll just round up and say $9 crystals, right? You got a 3% chance out of a $9 crystal to get, how many champs are in here? 24? Doom, APOC, Red Goblin, Red Skull, Loki, Mag Inventor. Yeah, at least as many. So the odds of that happening are not non-existent, very slim to nil. Or let me rephrase it this way. There's a Steam sale going on right now in the Steam store. For the cost of a single one of those bundles, you can buy 2 or 3 AAA titles and invest like 30, 40, 50 hours into each of them. Or you could get 5 3-stars. I mean, see, I mean, it's super negative sounding, right? And I'm sorry for that. I don't want to be super, super negative, but sometimes if something is tempting or an offer to me, that's worked for me in the past. But, I mean, YOLO, right? Fair point, Rob. I don't do that in my uncollected streams. Rank 3s and lower for fun, but Cav, oh, I'm bringing out the big guns. Yep. Especially when you got a boss like Blade like this month, right? So I went in the first time with APOC, going in not quite blind, but blind like it's the first time I've ever fought that boss, right? Come on, dude. Throw your special attack, please. Thank you. I'm like, I got places to go, my dude. So I brought in APOC the first time, and that was like a 4-shot, four revives. And then next time I brought in Archangel, which then I managed to solo him. But it's like, Archangel is the best option for it. And not because he's a direct counter to the node, but because he can like cheese his way around it. It's a very, very silly fight. Abel popping in saying, hey bro, what up Abel? And Jacob saying, what's up all, what's up? Howdy, howdy guys. Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to the My Bro grind. Hope you're doing well. Each fight I do with Mysterio using APOC, I'm learning and getting a better rotation going. I'll get it down. Yeah, you will. You definitely will. And then, like you said, I mean, it costs you nothing and no energy. It doesn't cost you any pots or revives to just, try again. Which is a fantastic bit about the challenge here. And you still got time. It's only the first day. Yeah, the Blade boss was crazy. I almost got the solo with the 5-star rank 3 Howard the Duck on Uncollected. That was fun. That's an interesting choice. That's a very interesting choice. I don't know when I'd have the time to do it, but I'd love to give it a go just for kicks. That could be fun. I'm practicing with iBomb right now. iBomb seems to be the go-to just because of how easy it is for him to proc poisons on Acid Wash Mysterio. Which, I mean, I think most people knew that this guy was coming. But doesn't make him any more of a fun fight or straightforward fight or anything like that. We still are speculating that Ice Phoenix is coming back too. So that'll be fun for Cold Snap immunity. Davin says, I gotta ask you, are you German by chance? I'm sure there's some German heritage mixed in there someplace. But it's like a big old mix of like Central European, Eastern European. I'm sure there's some English in there too. Kind of what happens, I guess, after centuries of cross-fighting and all that over in Europe. Cheers, all. Thoughts on a 6-star iHulk? iHulk is one of those champions who's growing on me. I wound up taking my 5-star up to 565 Sig 100 just for the Slumber nodes in Act 7, 7-1 and 7-2, and he's really good for that. But he's one of those champions who isn't like an all-around utility workhorse, more like a specific niche. When you find a use for him, he's going to absolutely decimate. But aside from that, you'd probably be better off going with another science option. So, I mean, Too Long Didn't Read. Yes, he's good, he's fun, and he can deal a lot of damage. It's very niche, though. So if it's like, do I want this guy to be my first rank 2 6-star? Probably not. Or same goes with the first rank 3. However, if you already have a couple science champions at rank 2 or what have you, then yeah, I'd go with it. I would do it personally. Man. Pew. Pew pew. Dr. Doom says, "What up, Rob? Can't sleep on Overseer, and I can't sleep on my legend run from Master and Heroic. I wish you the best of luck on that legend run. Wish you the best of luck. Hope you get it." Everyone was telling me to rank 3 my 5-star hype man, but I don't really get what the fuss is about. What do you think? I'm all about Hyperion. I'm all about Hyperion. He's great for nodes like Buffed Up, because all you gotta do is heavy attack and you get a bunch of buffs on him. He's fantastic when he's made a worthy champion with Odin. He gets a really easy, spammy special one, Incinerate, which is great. His power gain is one of the best in the game. Plus, he can heal, which is strange and oftentimes overlooked, but I think he's fantastic. I think he's fantastic. I also think that he's going to be one of those 5-star champions that we don't see ever as a 6-star, or we don't see in like another year or two as a 6-star. Kind of like how Wolverine and Scarlet Witch and those guys are just starting to get introduced into the game as 5-stars. I think that's probably going to be the case for him as a 6, because he's good. He's good. He's King Groot. Since I don't have I-Bomb for Mysterio, it's a very long fight. Yes. Yes, it is. That's the worst part about Mysterio, not the fact that, you got to poison a champion who's normally poison immune. But it's the fact that his stupid special 1 has that reflect damage. So, like, every time he throws a special 1, that just, like, screeches the fight to a halt. You got to wait out the timer. It's very annoying. Definitely don't regret taking APOC to 565. He destroys. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm just slowly starting to get big on the APOC hype train. But yeah, I'm all about that. I'm right there with you. Supersonic popping in saying, "Sup, Rob? What up, Supersonic? Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the My Bro grind. Hope you're doing well." Yeah, I'm going to use Ghost for it, which you work, and Doom for the 2 bosses. Ghost is pretty good all around. I don't think Ghost is going to do anything against Blade, though, so you got to still bring an Archangel for him. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, Ghost with Wasp and... well, Wasp for sure. Ant-Man is nice, Hood is nice, Yellow Jacket is nice for increased times, but... at this point, I think if you want to get a Legends run for that, you definitely need to use Ghost with full damage masteries and boosts. But again, like I said, that Blade boss I don't think can be beaten unless you have an Archangel in a speedy, timely fashion. Made an animated short where Rick turns himself into a banana, bro. That's fun. You don't see that mastery too terribly often, but when you do, it's annoying. I also ranked through my 5-star Professor X, like you said, but now it's between rank 4 Thing or Professor X. Not really sure what I'm supposed to do. I'm 525. I would do Professor X. Thing is starting to show his age a little bit, and especially because Thing needs a lot in order to maximize his damage. He needs to be super low health. You need to have a champion synergy with that, and then probably Heimdall as well for good measure. So you need like 2 additional champs on super low health with a high sig. And that's not ideal. Why am I refreshing the same 3 champs? Because those 3 champs are the highest prestige, fastest KOing 6-star ring 3 champions I got. So it maximizes the amount of points I can get. Not only because, again, because of prestige, so that's high points right there, but because they can KO champions super, super quickly. So you get more rounds in per hour. This is the nitty gritty part of the arena grind. It's where it's like, okay, so you used all your regular champions, they're on cooldown, but what are you going to do with the downtime? Are you going to do nothing, or are you going to keep putting up points? Well, you want to keep putting up points, right? So you gotta just keep spam refreshing your champs. And everybody that does this does it a different way or sees value in it in different places. Some people only run the highest prestige champions, and that's fine. But I prefer the fastest champions instead, because more rounds per hour is more important to me than points per round. Quite a lot of units, but you're already 100% of the game, so you got nothing else to spend them on. That's true. And for me, um, the champions themselves and their kits, how they play and their synergies are the most interesting part in the game. Some people like the alliance events the best. Some people like, I don't know, doing story mode the best. Some people like doing speed strats. Me, it's just playing the characters. Like all the other stuff is nice and other aspects of the game, but it's the characters for me. Slowly building that back up. The next fourth bundles, Groot crystals, where you have the chance to pull a King Groot or Groot. Those are the only options. They should do that without any other context. Like, just assume that they have a buff coming up at some point in the next few months, but they release the Groot and King Groot bundle with no other context. You imagine how much like flack the company would wind up getting from the overall community? I think the community would be smart enough to realize that something was up, but at the same time too, it'd be delightfully silly. If I wanted a specific champ bad enough, I don't see an issue. Yep, exactly right. Exactly right. And that's the thing about Arena. It is the only place in the game with a guaranteed result. Everything else is RNG. Like, there's still a bit of guessing with Arena, right? There's only 100 spots, but it's not like it's like a featured crystal where you still have a 1 in 24 chance, or a cav crystal where it's like you got a 1% chance, you know? It's like, no. You work, you put up the units, or put up the points. Excuse me. And there you go. Hey, what up, bud? Mike popping in. To answer your question, yes. Yes. I have titled the video appropriately. It's going to be it's going to be a bit. It's going to be a bit, but dude's fun to play. I had a couple unexpected things popping up yesterday and then today too, but by that point I was already too far invested. But we'll see, you know, fingers crossed, right? See when we come in and roast Kabam while still opening those crystals. Seaton's in a whole nother level. He is a whole nother level. Because he's earned the clout and the ability to be able to do that, you know. I mean, for one, just for like the sponsorships and the viewership he gets, the numbers help help him be able to do that in the first place. But then also too, because he's the biggest, one of the biggest, longest running YouTubers out there. So yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate that. It's gonna be a long night. Like I'm still cautiously optimistic. It's just gonna be a long night, and I'm probably gonna sleep tomorrow daytime. But well, that's a bit of a spoiler. Never mind. So I wound up recording a video yesterday when the new featured 6-star crystals came out, and I opened up 5 of them, hoping to go for either like Odin, Jabari Panther, an Awakening on Mr. Negative. And it's not spoiling the video to say that I had some good pulls, had some not so good pulls. But it certainly, I mean, especially with the saving that I did to get those in the first place, gave me a greater appreciation for a more guaranteed way to get champions. A heck of a lot more work, but at least you can target somebody specifically. Masochism wasn't that bad for me, by the way. It only took me 3 days. There is that. There certainly is that. But you are definitely preaching to the choir, and you are in the right place about 3 days. Because, I mean, I did Psycho Man for Sinister, right? Which was not the fastest grind. And then did Storm Pyramid X as well, which was also not the fastest option. You know, being a few days removed from doing those couple of pushes with Sinister, with those champions, it reminds me very much of like Labyrinth of Legends when that first came out. Because when Labyrinth first came out and people were running that, we were all running that with rank 4 5-stars, right? And we were lucky if those rank 4s were awakened. People who had awakened Star Lords had the best time with it, but there were a couple other options, right? A 5-star unawakened Storm could do it as well, could do the easy path as well, and that's what I wound up running with mine. I did an initial clear with OG Storm, pre-buff, of course, as a rank 4 5-star. And each of those fights wound up taking like 30, 40 minutes each. Just brought back lots and lots of memories of that. Judah popping in saying, yo! What up, Judah? And Supersonic, I want the Overseer bad. But I want to get him naturally. My rank 3 awakened him with a 6-star Science Awakening gem and Sig 100 before I could think of if it's a bad decision or not. So that's where I'm coming at with that. And I want the Overseer for similar reasons too. But I'm hunting for a Prestige Science Champ. I've got a Prestige option in the other 5 classes except for Science. And I was going to be going with Spider-Ham originally. He's already rank 3 Awakened. I love that dude. Then I was going to go with Mr. Negative, who I also very much enjoy. But then they came out with Overseer, who has like the highest prestige in the entire class. Plus, he actually has the best benefit from his Awakened ability of those other options at a higher sig. So it's like, yeah, perfect. It just checks off a bunch of boxes. Just in case anybody was wondering, Diablo does not work on Mysterio. Well, there we go, guys. We can put that one to bed. Hey, Integral popping in saying, Rob, what up, bud? Good to see you. How's it going? Has anyone ever soloed the Collector? Yes, I'm sure. Regular Collector, I'm assuming? Yes. Nameless Collector, I don't think so. Not that I remember seeing, at least. So we have Adult Groot. Why don't we have a Baby Groot? Teenage Groot or the Gardener in the game? Well, I mean, that would just be spoiling champions for like November, December, right? I don't know. I have no idea. I would want to see a Groot buff before we see the next Groot champion, you know? Like, that dude's needed so much TLC for the longest time. I think it'd be a big slap in the face of the community if we get a new Groot before the first one gets any sort of attention. At least make him offensively viable. Remember at that time people did Labyrinth with Rank 4 Star-Lord, Classic, Captain Marvel, Storm, and Rocket. Yep, I think those were the 4 options. Cheers. Oh, too late. But man, that brings back some memories too. Star-Lord wasn't even the best. I mean, he was like the go-to option, but he wasn't a great option. Because if you wound up getting unlucky and getting that Labyrinth evade and Star-Lord getting tagged, you would wipe out like 400 hits worth of progress, have to start all the way over from the beginning again. And that was just, I mean, it was basically game over at that point. So, I mean, Storm had that going for her. Now, I mean, if you get tagged, it's not the worst thing. You can keep rolling. Cheers. Overseer has some amazing damage and some interesting utility, so he could possibly be the next Eye-Hulk. Overlooked hero that made a return, but only time will tell. His damage is at least very nice. It is, and that's the thing too. At high sig, that direct damage really adds up. And I think outside of that, my other favorite bit of utility is the special concussion he gets, which is nice for mid to long range fights. At least in reducing some of the nonsense that opponents wind up throwing at you, you know? It's one of the reasons why Psycho Man's starting to grow on me. For as much of a meme as he is, the concussion that he places on the opponent when he's in the right phase, super useful. You gotta admit that King Groot wipes the floor with Groot. Yeah, but then again, so does just about everybody else. Poor dude. Dude can like proc 6 to 10 Furies on him and it does like nothing, you know? And the regen is absolutely pathetic. The next pre-4th offer was 6-star vision, but maybe they'll see another offer before the 4th. Okay, so that's referencing the question of the night over here on the left. What's the next big 4th offer? So on, I think it was the Sunday stream, and then the Monday stream for sure, I tooting my own horn a little bit. I correctly identified that there'd be a vision offer this week because they had already announced that the rotating calves were going to be Monday. And I was like, you know what? That's great for Monday, but there's still plenty of time. They're probably going to do a vision offer because they haven't done that for like a year and change, right? But I mean, there still is time, so it's possible. I mean, tomorrow's a new champion, so they may wind up just focusing on the new champion and then possibly launching something on Friday for the weekend festivities, possibly. But it wouldn't surprise me to see like a rank up offer, either like a 4 to 5 5-star gem or like a 1 to 2 6-star gem, something like that. Just to see if there are any like stragglers who are just holding out. Corvus stares at Nick. Nick takes this man's cheeks. It was a good line. It was a good line. Cheeto popping in and saying, "What up, Rob? What up, Cheeto? Howdy, howdy. How's it going, bud? Welcome to the Rob Does the Overseer grind. Hope you're doing well." It was a doom fight. There can be only one. Except Doom fights are super boring because you can't like backhand everybody because Doom being shock immune and all. Slows things down a little bit. Do you think we'll get an MCU version of Kang in the game? Possibly. It depends, though, when he's going to show up. Because if it's... Because he's supposed to show up in Ant-Man, right? I think. So it's possible, because we already have an Ant-Man character. It's possible that we might. But then again, I wouldn't hold my breath either because, I mean, we're still waiting on, like, Stormbreaker Thor and stuff, right? I would hope so. Maybe. If he's good, I'd be all for it. I mean, heck, if anybody's good, I'd be all for it. But that's just me. I'm more interested in the Champions kit and how they play more so than who they are. Like, if they're fun to play, I'll go for it. You know? If you would have asked me, like, before this game came out, if, like, who my favorite champion would be to play, just theoretically, I'd be like, you know, sure, Daredevil probably, just because he's my favorite Marvel character. You know, see how Iron Man does, because I'm assuming he'd have a lot of tech gadgets. Then fast forward to today, it's like, nah, my favorites are, like, Elsa Bloodstone and Tigra. It would be like, wait, those guys? Really? Those, like, C-list Marvel characters. Oh yeah, but they're fun to play. Or Dragon Man. But it's true. If you play Vigilance first, then go for power gain with Space Ghost to actually build the special 2 faster. Yeah. That's how I usually wind up doing it. But I'm not going to lie. Cycling through the same 3 champions time and time again, part of it kind of just gets to be a bit lazy on my part. So that's why. So sometimes I do. Absolutely. Most of the time I do, especially if it's for questing or if it's just a one-shot in arena, then absolutely I do. Because exactly right. That's the fastest way to do it. It's usually a build up Vigilance first, build up power gain first, maybe do 2 extra hits just to push it over that second bar of power because it usually isn't enough. Parry heavy, special 2, game over. Easy peasy. Jason says he might show up in Loki. He might at this point. Now, we're not going to talk Loki spoilers. Just for the people who haven't seen the new episode yet, just, you know, give everybody a chance to enjoy it for themselves first. So we're not going to talk episode 4 spoilers yet. But yes, I suppose that is possible. We'll see. It really depends on where they're going to go with it from now, because I don't think, it's not a spoiler to say I don't think anybody saw the episode playing out the way that it did, which makes things a lot more interesting. And I'll leave it at that. Overseer kind of reminds me of APOC in a way. Very huge champs that people initially thought were bad, but it's actually good. They both have similar concussion effects and have a bulk of damage. See, that's one of the reasons why I love Elsa right there. I mean, granted, it's Wasp, who's like basically a noodle. A defensive noodle. But 2 medium attacks, and Wasp is done. I love it. Cheeto says, "Ayo, wait, new episode." Yeah, bud. They come out on Wednesdays. So, I mean, it came out, well, midnight. Midnight today, so it's been out for, what, 20 hours? Pushing 21? Man Falcon popping in saying, "Howdy, Rob. Hope all is well." It is. It is. I hope you're doing well as well. It's always a pleasure, Falcon. D-list. I'll give you that. At D-list. I mean, then again, Iron Man was like B-list before MCU rolled around. After you do medium, light, 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 medium, do medium, light, 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 light to get that power gain, which will build up to a special 2, then heavy cancel. Oh yeah, yeah, Cheeto, yeah, yeah. No, that's how I do it. Hopefully they do add another king. Non-trophy champ king would be nice. Yeah, and then give another synergy to OG king to make him even better. Pew pew. Bye bye, dude. Dragon Man in his underwear on a poster saying, "Hang in there and fly high." You can always go for a motivational poster, right? Yeah, yeah, Cheeto, get on that, bud. It's the best one yet. Well, one of the best ones yet. Razor King popping in. Hello there. First time I've caught your stream. Hey, I appreciate it. Nice to see you. Nice meeting you. Hope your Wednesday's going well, bud. Welcome to the stream. I'm just throwing up as many points at this arena as I possibly can before time expires in about 13 hours. And then, hope for the best. But pleasure having you, bud. Do you know they already mentioned Blade in the Eternals and the Eternals in Loki? Yes. They mentioned vampires. That's not a spoiler. It was like a throwaway line that I forget in one of the first few episodes. It's not. There's nothing to it aside from like, hey, they said vampires. Thought you didn't know how to play, so I wrote how to. My bad. Oh no, no, no. I do appreciate it though, Cheeto. I appreciate it. But fun fact, I liked Cosmic Ghost Rider when he first came out. I knew he was good, but I did not know how to play him. I wanted one, but I didn't know how to play him. And then I lucked out, and when the featured 6-star rolled around with Cosmic Ghost Rider in it, I was very fortunate. That's where I pulled him from. But I still didn't know how to play him. I was like, I'll get around to it. Then I did my my 3-star SmackDown series. And, of course, well, I was also very fortunate to have Slayer of Gods on, right? Who is like the Cosmic Ghost Rider dude. So I was like, hey, bud, I mean, do you want to do a collaboration? It'll be really fun. It's a 3-star SmackDown. We're seeing how much damage we can do to Realm Winter Soldier in 3 minutes with 3 stars, right? So it focuses so much more on mastery, setup, and strategy as opposed to, just like big yellow numbers. He's like, and I'm like, you can do whoever you want. He's like, well, naturally, I want to do Cosmic Ghost Rider. I'm like, cool, let's do that then. So then I recorded, I recorded a run, and then he sent over his run, and this was a 3-star, mind you. I got like maybe 40% health off in 3 minutes, and he soloed him. And I'm like, well, hold up a minute. Wait, what? With a 3-star? And yeah, it soloed Rome with a 3-star in less than 3 minutes. And I'm like, okay, I need to know how to do this. So then he was very kind and very, very generous, and he took the time to explain the thinking behind the rotation, and that's where I picked it up from. But yeah, I mean, if you guys ever need like some insane CGR gameplay, yeah, go check out Slayer's channel. Alright, please don't. Dang it. You weren't supposed to special. There we go. Caught him on the dash. Freaking Ben Riley, man. I've got nothing against Ben Riley 75. I'm sure Ben Riley 75 is a wonderful person and an excellent gameplay player. But I get matched up against Ben Riley 75 so freaking much. Like, there's most of the names in the game I just don't even notice, especially when I'm doing refreshes like this. It's just, okay, next set. Okay, pick the champs, fight them, cool, move on to the next set. But Ben Riley 75 stands out because I get paired up against him all the time. Between Ben Riley 75 and somebody called Nick and Judy 5, those two people, they're my arena nemesises. Nemesises? That one. And especially because that dude has a rank 3 diaper man that just makes my life miserable. Like he's easy enough to take down with space ghosts just because of the big damage and all, but alright, let's do this then. See him with Gilly bypass all of her friggin' nonsense. He's just the answer to so many problems. Man, I would have flipped if they mentioned Luke Cage. I'm just catching the tail end of whatever you said there, PP, but if they had mentioned Luke Cage in an official MCU capacity, that would have been amazing. Because I'd love for them to just meld the Netflix series over with the MCU. Because, like, that dude is my Luke Cage. Kristen Ritter is my Jessica Jones. She needs a better writer for if they do another show. But the first season is amazing, and she nailed the character. And then Daredevil, all 3 seasons, and the Daredevil appearance in Defenders are my favorite Marvel on screen. Again, I'm biased. He's my favorite Marvel character, so naturally. But you just bring him over. Like, officially. Not like what they did with J.K. Simmons, where it's like a alternate reality version of him. Because I know he's showing up in, or there's a Matt Murdock in She-Hulk with Charlie Cox, supposedly. But that's me rambling a bit. Reaper says, I may have found a new way to pull God tiers. Go in and out of the crystal twice, then either spin or pop. There you go. It's the Reaper method. Did you see BG get wrecked in the Summer of Pain fight? No, I didn't. I haven't been online all day. So I only just recently found out that Mysterio was even the boss, because I didn't even look. But I don't doubt it. I don't, not saying anything against BG. I just don't doubt that if someone goes in day 1, it won't be as smooth a fight as it will be after, day 3 or 4. Unless you're MSD, and then it's just like instant easy mode. Razor says, you trying to get Overseer or Luke Cage? I'm going for Overseer. I went for Luke Cage round 1. Was fortunate enough to get rank 87 with 32.7 million points, which is great. New champion, and he's helped put up some points here for the Overseer grind, but we'll see. I don't have a point target. I'm just trying to get as many points as I can while I can, and then hope for the best. Happy night before the night before 4th of July offers. Appreciate that, Brian. Happy July 4th weekend eve. Just 2 eves, I think. Yeah, just 2. Fred says, so I've seen the new Bishop buff. 5-star has to go to rank 5 more than already. Yes. The bishop buff is looking really good. It's looking like it's a lot of fun. It looks like it's well done. The thing is, and this isn't a knock on bishop so much as it's just a truth about the mutant class, is that there are so many amazing god tiers in the mutant class already that it's very difficult to um, to nail down like which of the champions you'd want to rank up. Is he worth rank 5? Yes. Is he worth a rank 2 as a 6-star? Yes. Are there other options for rank 5 or rank 2 or rank 3? 100%. So I suppose it just depends. Blade is Blade's awesome. He is, and they got Mahershala Ali playing Blade, so doubly awesome. Hey, not cool, dude. Bye-bye, dude. Miss Minutes for MCOC. Similar design. Look at Spider-Ham would be dope. That would be interesting. That would certainly be interesting. Or she could show up in somebody else's special 3, kind of like how Herbie shows up in Reed's special 3. Razor asks, what's my opinion on Beast? Very, very dated. Beast back in the day had potential because he could do some pretty interesting things once he's awakened at a decent sig level, right? He could do some interesting things. However, the things that he could do at a high rank with a high sig level are stuff that champions nowadays do just like as a throwaway byline, not even their main kit. So like now the best thing about Beast is that he's a synergy champ for Elsa and for Tigra. And that's my favorite part about him. Otherwise, he's just so outclassed by most every mutant champ that's come after him. Poor guy. Table Cat says, bring in Maw, bring in Squidward. I mean, if you're a real glutton for punishment. Lefty, I don't know how I missed you, bud. Lefty Knox, everybody, saying yo. How's it going, dude? Good to see you. Welcome to the stream, my friend, and big congratulations as well. It's good to have you. Good to have you, bud. Coat Hanger says, take that back. Rally 75 has been found in mod bot Discord chats. I recant. Don't need none of that nonsense here. Well, then that's the last time I mentioned that. Hey Google, what is the plural of nemesis? I think it is nemesises. Or it's either that or it's like the enunciation, like a singular is nemesis or the plural is nemesis. But I don't remember or know if there's a spelling difference between the two. Murtaza says, hey man, long time no see. How you doing? I'm doing very well. I'm sleepy, but I'm in good spirits and I'm hanging in there. Life's going very well. It's very brisk. Man, that's not optimal. Come on. Freaking heels, man. Bit more brisk than I'd like, but it's going very well. How are you doing? I miss Jessica Jones so bad, and the Luke Cage tie-in was awesome. Yes, everything up until Iron Fist was fantastic. Now, if they just want to like meld the entire Netflix series into the MCU and just carry on with Colleen Wing as Iron Fist and just forget that Danny Rand ever happened, I'd be more than okay with that. Now we've been over this a bit on this channel, but I'm gonna rehash it just one more time. That what they did with Danny was so terribly disappointing. I'm not even talking about the choice of actor. I'm talking about just the story in general. So terribly disappointing. And so boring. That by the time they got to season 2, when Colleen Wing wound up becoming Iron Fist because reasons, I was so okay with that, because that actor, she in that entire series, she was the one character who committed to the role, looked like she had fun with the role, like in spades, and genuinely cared, like, to put any sort of effort into it. Not only just like any effort into it, but like enough effort where it's like, you are fun to watch. I hope good things happen to you in this show. This is fun. And then it cuts away to like Danny and his like crying drama with Discount Mordo. And he's like trying to explain to himself and to the audience when he accepted the role of Iron Fist as the defender of Kunlun, how it wasn't a bad thing that he left Kunlun defenseless, because he didn't want to be the defender of Kunlun. He wanted to live his own life, but he took up the job where that was his one job. And then Discount Mordo shows up and he's like, yo, dude, you took the job and that was your one job and you didn't do the one job. So it's kind of your fault that everybody's dead. And Danny's like, no, it isn't. And that's Iron Fist Netflix. Even Rosario Dawson was just like, yo, this is like my 8th or 9th Netflix show already. I'm a nurse, and I'm trained as a nurse, and you're giving me tiger claws to fight ninjas. Yeah, okay, give me that paycheck. Like, you compare Rosario Dawson in Daredevil season 1 or in Luke Cage, right? And then compare it with what she was given to work with in Iron Fist season 2. It's just such a joke. I mean, heck, if I was in her position too, I'd take the friggin' tiger claws and the paycheck and just, sure, why not? Question becomes, if Bishop's buff surpasses any of the already god tier mutants. Still have to wait and see. We do. We do indeed. Is Diablo getting the overhaul? I believe so, yes. Do you mean, Rob, do you mean Weiner Fist? Yeah, right. Pretty much. And I mean, I think it stems to a lot from just the choice in the actor. And that's unfortunate. I don't want to speak ill of the guy. I don't know the guy. He just wasn't right for that role. like for starters, pick somebody who actually knows kung fu. Because like season one, his fight sequences were so painful to watch. It's like you could tell that the dude worked with somebody to choreograph it, but you could also tell that it was not second nature, which I for that character and the backstory of the character, it has to be second nature. By season two, they did a better job. They spent more time working with him with stunts, so it looked better. Not great, but better. Sean says, tips on beating uncollected. If you're gonna need an awakened archangel, that's the easiest way to get through Blade, without spending copious and copious amounts of pots and revives. Otherwise, I mean, for the most part, um, all the other chapters are fairly straightforward, provided you play with the nodes. If it's the science chapter, use science champions, so on and so forth. Unless there's a specific matchup you're asking about. Astro says, hello, hello. What up, Astro? Good to have you. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the festivities. Brody, Iron Man was just wondering if y'all had any more good luck with your friends, and then maybe go to hang with you, and then I will see you tomorrow. Read this if you want to. Waste your time. I mean, it killed a good 20 seconds, so I appreciate that, Brody. I know Kung Fu. Wait, that's an in-game title. Yeah. Makes me really wonder if the Wachowskis knew how dumb that sounded when they wrote it. Or if it sounded a lot cooler in their heads, and it's just that when Keanu said it, it just came out sounding... It sounded 80s Keanu instead of late 2000s, 2010s Keanu. Like what he would eventually wind up evolving into. Much more Bill and Ted than John Wick. But what a career that guy's had. But that's one of those movies, man. I can go back. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. I genuinely want to know your guys' opinions and your take. Because I'm coming at it when I saw Matrix originally, I was a kid, right? Early teens, like barely a teenager when Matrix first came out, right? So the first time I saw it, I was like, hey, this is cool. I don't really get it, but this is cool. And then the second time I saw it, I'm like, this is amazing. And now it's gotten to a point where it's like such a fun nostalgia trip. It's one of the movies that I can just quote the bejesus out of. I can just watch it whenever, however many times. It's like the comfort food of movies for me. But I don't know if it's because it's just that good or timeless, or if it's just because that's, it was that impressionable on young little Rob vonShoe here. So if you guys are, I'm that's what I'm saying. I'm curious what you guys think. If you guys are younger, like Matrix is just a movie that's always been there, or if you guys are older and when the first time you guys had seen it, you were older and had a better appreciation for it or understanding of it the first time you saw it. Cheers, all. Judah, that's fair to admit. I don't hold it against you. It's fun. It's fun. It's one of the last movies of the 90s. So you could already start to feel it had some of that 2000s flair, but still held on to a couple 90s tropes. Reaper says, The Matrix is a favorite of mine also. Yeah. I'm not going to lie, I'm a bit apprehensive about the new one coming out. Well, let me clarify. I was much more excited when Michael B. Jordan was slated to be the star as like a okay, so this is the Matrix 20 years later. As like, I don't know, Morpheus's kid or somebody. Or even just somebody completely, different. As opposed to, hey, let's bring back the original cast. And with playing the same characters. And it's like, I mean, you could make that cool, but I think it would have been cooler if they'd done something different. We'll have to see, but that's my initial reaction. Gotta go to watch Loki in a few minutes. Hit that like button, everybody. Yeah, appreciate the plug, PP. Enjoy. It's a trip. Brian says, that was a genre-defining franchise and changed the way movies are made. It's true. Also, speaking of Matrix 4, because inevitably they have to do one of the 360 camera spins. They have to. They invented it. They popularized it. Invented it, sure, but also that's the movie that showcased it that everybody wound up copying afterwards. So when they do that shot, I do hope it's still a traditional shot. Because that is so easy to do in CG now, but it's so boring in CG. It's so much more fun if it's a live camera. So many cross connections and Easter eggs they won't realize are there until after a few watchings. It's true. It's one of those things where I can't imagine it any other way. I can't imagine it without Don Davis's score. I can't imagine it without the Wachowskis' take on it, or without the actors playing those roles. You know, it still would have been a fantastic movie if Will Smith had signed on to play Neo originally. But I don't know. That was Keanu's movie. Even the NFL does a 360 camera rotation with some high-tech wizardry. And hey, Rob. Well, howdy, howdy. It's fun how they do it, the NFL. It's fun how they do it. Not gonna lie, I almost spend more time figuring out how they do it than whatever the shot is. Bunch of morph animations. go. Get you down there. I'm like, hey, dude, that heavy attack you're doing is cool and all, but let me substitute that with one of my own. There is no spoon. So it's interesting. I know because that line is mentioned twice, right? When the kid says it, and then when Neo says it in the elevator. But for me, it's much more memorable when the kid says it. I think the way that it's framed and it's shot. Because when Neo's in the elevator with Trinity, it's just like they don't give the line any time to breathe, which I think is appropriate because again they've already said the line and the line has already had impact earlier in the movie. So why waste time with it? The opening scene with Trinity is incredible. If that didn't get you into the movie, yes, that is the perfect way to start a movie. It gives you just enough of a tease to intrigue you about the world and how things work. It follows along, you know who the protagonists are and who the antagonists are. And it makes you, from the get go, question everything. Which is great because that leads into, the plot and the point later on. It doesn't like spoon feed you unnecessary details. It tells you exactly what you need to know at that time. Fill in the blanks later. I heard Lawrence Fishburne is not coming back for the fourth one. That sucks. And neither is Hugo Weaving, from what I've heard. So it's just the Carrie-Anne Moss and Keanu Reeves so far. Which could be interesting, the way they do it. Because, on one sense, maybe that's how Trinity and Neo wind up showing up in this film. That they're digital representations, digital reproductions of like the former human characters, like the characters who survived or at least didn't get deleted at the end of the trilogy. I don't know, like they're still alive someplace, and then the whole movie winds up taking place in either the Matrix or whatever new computer world. Brian says, "Did you do the Summer of Pain fight today?" I haven't yet. I'm gonna save that for at the very earliest tomorrow afternoon, after the arena's done. The first round I'm gonna do is probably with iBomb, just because it's the most straightforward, just to get it done and over with. I may wind up experimenting and having a little bit of fun with some of the other options out there, but we'll see. This one kind of sucks because it's like Rogue was fun because you could use almost anybody. You just had to play around the node. This one, well, I suppose you can use anybody as well. It's just going to take you freaking forever because of the acid wash. I had more fun with the ones where you can use anybody as opposed to, like, if you don't have this one dude or these five dudes, you're hosed. Oh. Wow. Overkill much? All right, Judah, take care, bud. Didn't Neo get deleted? It depends, and it depends how much of like the established post Matrix lore, like the Matrix Online lore, winds up becoming officially canon. Like it was canon when it came out in the games, but that was like 15, 20 years ago. So I don't know if it's still canon now. But so I'm saying like Smith got deleted, but they still had Neo's body, right? And they still had Trinity's body because they're dead. Um, so I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like if Neo didn't wind up getting copied into the Matrix before he was supplanted by Smith, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Just pure speculation, conjecture, right? Or it could just be another reboot, right? Yeah, either way, I'm gonna see it. I'm a huge Matrix fan. I even bought the PS2 game to try uh, to cry to get the free movie ticket back in the day. Yeah, and here's the hoping the two that they come up with another wave of Animatrix as well. That was great. Didn't want to do that, but okay, beautiful. I did it with Voodoo, and he crushed it. Had that good RNG, but it was 100 hits in a little over 3 minutes. No, that's perfect. I don't mind that. I mean, again, like the Storm X fight and the Psycho Man fight I did against Sinister were like a half hour each. So 3 minutes is beautiful. So then here's a question too with the Matrix, right? And this is something that I thought a bit on as it came out, but as it went time progressed, I was like, yeah, that probably just makes sense. If Keanu Reeves as Neo and everybody else wind up coming back the exact same way, like Neo as the one with Keanu Reeves as Mr. Anderson becoming Neo the one. If it's still him just respawning effectively to become the one again, or if it's a different person each time. And the only reason I say that is because when he's talking with Chair Dude, what's his name? Not the Overseer, the Architect, right? And you got all the TVs playing in the background with all the different Neo reactions to the conversation. Makes me believe it's like, yeah, it was Keanu Reeves each time. Why the bots didn't just realize to look out for Keanu Reeves and just, you know, not let it get that far in the first place. I don't know. But I mean, if that's the case, then that could be another way that the movie starts is like, all right, well, they had their piece for a while and then everything went to hell in a handbasket because, of course, it would. So then they decided to reboot the Matrix again. So what happens this time when, you know, Keanu doesn't follow the White Rabbit and then he doesn't become the one until like 20 years later or whatever? We'll see. Ben says, will he score another 50 million from now? We'll see. We'll see. And here's the hoping he goes lower too, because traditionally the second round of the second featured champion each month goes lower. Traditionally. We'll see. Hope so. But it definitely will be different without Lawrence Fishburne or Hugo Weaving around. Hugo Weaving, just because I love seeing Hugo Weaving in everything. He's just so much fun to watch. And the Lawrence Fishburne, too, for the presence, but... Is that the glitch in the Matrix, the flaw in the program? Yeah, well, yes. Sort of. So the flaw in the Matrix is that there always has to eventually be one, right? The one. To offset the anomaly, right? But my postulation is if the one has to be Keanu Reeves each time. Or if it can be anybody. Like there always is the one, but if it's different people. Boop. Text that. Text that. Let me stretch real quick. Or, and this is kind of what I'm hoping, because it would be a lot more fun to watch for people who have followed this series thus far, and then I think a great hook if they want to continue making some future spin-offs, right, is if they introduce like something completely different. Like it's The Matrix, but with a twist. That's why I was really excited originally when Michael Jordan was slated to star, because it's like, hey, it's a new generation of actors, it's a new cast, new possibilities, new storylines. Still could be. It's just now that there's a little bit extra, something different. Something familiar, something different. Hopefully. Okay, I'm C popping in saying, good evening, brother. Well, howdy, good evening, back at you. Happy Wednesday. How are you doing? How's everything? Welcome to the Rob needs to get some sleep stream. Rob's not, but he should. Wow, that did like nothing. And a very mild incinerate at that. Stick with the special too. Did the sound just go out? That was weird. There we go. There we go. So, game stuff. We got Clairvoyant coming as the featured arena tomorrow with Colossus as the basic. That's exciting for people who don't have Claire or Colossus. And exciting for me too, because I've got them both already, which means I'm not going to go hard on arenas, which is a welcome change of pace, because I went for both featured 6 stars this week, which is a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. And then presumably we got either Hercules or America Chavez the week after, or the week after, just depending on whenever the patch comes out. Which will be weird having 2 off weeks. But maybe they'll have the buff arena first, which is what, Ronin and Bishop, and then who's the third one? I don't remember. And if that's the case, well, then I'm going to be back at it because I don't have a 6-star Bishop yet. I'm not going to go for an Awakening. It's enough for me to just get him once. And that was my strategy with the 5 stars. I too long didn't read. I live and die in arenas. I love have loved the arenas, and it's the most reliable way to get specific champions. So that's why I'm all about it. When 5-star arenas became a thing, that's why I did 5-star arenas to get the 5-star champions. Now that 6 stars are a thing, we'll see how that goes. But so far, I've been trying to get the basic ones I haven't gotten yet. At least once, just to have them and then just dupe them naturally later on. But then, yeah, Bishop and then Diablo. Yeah, I don't have Diablo as a 6-star either. So double grind again. These 6-star grinds are so brutal, says Buddy. High stakes with all them points. Oh, my fingers crossed that you pick them up. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. I'm hoping so. I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm hoping so. I could use a W. I missed out on War Machine. I missed out on Mr. Negative. That hurts. Wound up picking him up later on, which was cool, but for the time being, not cool. Thinking Neo has to be the same each time, just given the nature of the programming. Yeah, which would be interesting, because then like every single, if it's just Neo that's the same, or if everybody's the same. Aside from like the natural born people. Like if there's just some bank and they just keep cloning people to reset it back to the way it was. Which, if that's the case, that doesn't say a whole lot about the machines, that they can't figure out what's what. But these are the things that keep me up at night. And Arena. The Matrix and the Arena. Those are the two things, and nothing else. It's a very strange life I lead. Do that. Alright, he's got 4 charges. I'm like, why can't I stun this guy? That's why. Beautiful. Beautiful. Just go up and say, bye-bye, dude. They tried to give us the perfect world, and we couldn't handle it, so they might just keep resetting the world that they can control. Yeah, wouldn't that be something? Like, everybody just keeps, like, waking up and rerunning their loops. A bit Westworldy. Speaking of which, there's so many different shows out there that I need to look into as to when they're coming back. Like, Westworld has another season coming out, which we'll see. Not a fan of where the series is going, personally. The Expanse is supposed to have another season. I am all about that when that comes out. That show is amazing. And I'm due for a rewatch, actually. So I saw the first 2 episodes of The Expanse, maybe like 2.5 years ago, something like that. And I'm like, hey, this is neat. And then just never picked it up again until later on, where it's like, I'm going to give this show another whirl. I've heard some pretty decent things about it. I'll give it another try. And then like a week later, I've binged 4 or 5 seasons. 4 seasons? And I'm pretty excited about that. I'm assuming this is a KO. I'm hoping this is a KO, or else this is going to be really awkward that I'm looking up Expanse Season 5. Oh, Season 5 already came out. That came out this year. 6. Expected to arrive December of this year. Very good. I'm okay with that. If you're looking for like some fantastic sci-fi that dabbles more in the realistic, grounded aspect of sci-fi as opposed to like classic Star Trek sci-fi, go with Expanse. Fun show. Very, very fun show. I haven't read the books. The show, from what I've read, deviates from the books considerably. Like it's based on the books and it starts out around the books, but then like the show goes one way and the books go the other way. Like the show sticks with Holden and the crew, whereas the books jump ahead in time considerably. Fun show, man. I can't wait to rewatch that. It's good. It's good. I never thought about it, but I wonder when the books came out originally. That was weird. Because there is an aspect of season one where it's like very Halo esque. Like Halo by itself wasn't super fresh, original in its twist. It was a nice twist, but it wasn't super fresh, original. Expanse has a similar um, setup, I should say. That's spoiling anything. But it just kind of makes me wonder if one played off of the other. Did you watch Utopia on Prime? Some good stuff. I've seen it there. I haven't watched it yet. But yeah, on your recommendation, I'll check it out. Especially, I mean, another reason why I enjoy doing arena grinds like this, because it gives me some time to get caught up on shows or just discover something completely new. It's like, hey, what's on HBO that I've missed in the last 5, 6 months? And then just like scrub through HBO and the stuff that I've missed or new stuff that's come out. It's like, cool. Now I'd go jump over to Amazon Prime. What can I find over here? And do that for the same amount of time. So by the time I get back to HBO again, there's like a year's worth of content. Boink. Pew pew. It's a trip. I enjoyed the Prime remake over the original BBC one. Interesting. I like that. You know what other show I'm due for a rewatch on is Lost. Like I saw it when it debuted, and I followed it all the way to the end. But I haven't like started from the beginning and rewatched the entire series. And I'm kind of curious how I would react, how I would like it. Knowing what I know, knowing kind of where the story winds up ending up, and then if there's anything else I missed along the way, like fun breadcrumbs they threw in there that I just missed the first time. Have I seen Dark City? I haven't. Is that on one of the platforms? One of the channels? Alright, so let's do this then. Of course the dude's unblockable. I'll take that. Blast so powerful it almost knocks through both of Nick Fury's phases. So hyped that there's a Good Omens Season 2 coming. There's a lot of good content out. I'll say this, I mean, like, small screen content in the last decade has just steadily been getting better and better and better. But this is such like a golden age for quality content where there's just always something cool and new and interesting coming down the pipes. A lot of recycled, boring garbage too, but so much like fun, fresh stuff. It always feels like there's something new and like a backlog of things that I should really get on, I think it's on Netflix. It's worth a watch if you haven't seen it. I am all for it. Just recently saw, was it The Old Guard? I think that was with Charlize Theron. Is interesting. It wasn't brilliant, but it was interesting. I'm fairly certain, especially the way that they wound up laying the groundwork, that there's going to be a sequel at some point. And I'm not opposed to there being a sequel at some point. I'd still watch it, absolutely, because there's a fun premise. I think they could certainly improve on a couple of facets in like the third act, end of the second act, early third act. But the concept and the premise is there. Oh no, I take it back. I just remembered. I remembered the actual ending. They 100% sequel baited. 100%. So long as they keep the sequel tight, like it very easily could like blossom and like explode into like an Incredibles 2 sort of thing where there's just so much like random gobbledygook because they're trying to make the world bigger without really needing to. Like if they keep it a tight character focused story with the premise that they got, I would be all for. I'd be really interested and all for that. Certainly worth a watch. It's 2 hours and change. Nice little film. And the way my mind works, it's like, oh yeah, action movie, Charlize Theron. She was also in Mad Max. Mad Max is getting a sequel. When is the sequel? Because that's supposed to be what young Furiosa, right? With Anna Taylor-Joy, who, when I first heard that, I was like, what? Who is this? And since then, I've seen a number of things that she's been in, and it's like, okay, I could see this working out. It just depends on the story that they're going to tell, but I could see the actor pulling this off. Potentially. Ooh. There we go. Going for the KO. I gotta be careful. Either I'm dropping inputs, or I'm not accurately hitting the screen. But I've been dropping a lot of blocks here. And that's gonna wind up biting me in the butt one of these days. Anna Taylor-Joy was incredible in the Queen's Gambit. Yes, exactly. That's specifically what I'm talking about. I saw Queen's Gambit and I'm like, this is pretty good. That being said, I think narratively the final act kind of like fell on its face, but the lead up and the build up, the rest of the series was very, very good. So let's see what we can do here. Do that. Pew pew. And that. Uno mas. Codanger says zombie finger. Probably. I mean, I've been wondering why it's like gray and necrotic. I suppose that would make sense. I had to figure that smashing the glass screen here on my device thousands of times probably isn't the best thing for the health of my fingers, but you know what? What are you gonna do? Alrighty, guys. Let's go open up a crystal here, shall we? Let's go open up a crystal. Did I lose audio again? No. There we go. So, what should I open up? We'll claim that one. Oh, yes, let's open up a Grandmaster just for kicks. Let's open up a Grandmaster. And if you guys want to guess who is going to pop out of the crystal, feel free to throw that into chat. Always appreciate checking that out. I guessed Tiger last time. I'm going to guess Tiger again. Just keep rolling with that just for kicks. Wow, lag. This game's about to crash hard. And as that crystal is spinning out, let's do two things. First off, let's go get a raid going. Go say hey to BG. Go under the handle hashtag Rob Von Raid. Excellent. Also, while this is spinning out, I want to thank you guys for watching. It's been a pleasure having you guys here for the last couple hours. Got my fingers crossed for the top 100. Got a video coming out tomorrow with results one way or the other. Please consider liking the video, subscribing as well. Not Tigra. Helps boost the YouTube analytics. I do appreciate that. And supposedly, for every like that the video gets, is about 1,000,000 points less that the cutoff is going to wind up dropping. So, I could use every good luck charm I can get. I'm be streaming again on Friday for I don't know, whatever's going on Friday, but I'll be here Friday and then Sunday for the Super Sunday cereal stream with a brand new one-off cereal. But that's going to do me for tonight, everybody. Hope you all have a most excellent evening yourselves, and we'll catch you next time. I'm Rob vonShoe. Till next time, everybody, take care. Talk soon. Stay safe. Be well, all. Bye for now.